Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jeff White, Jeff White Fitness Solutions. Thanks for checking out this video today. And today, let's talk about gold. Gold gets a bad rap. A lot of people think it will be illegal again. A lot of people will say you can't eat gold in an SHTF situation, so it's not worth getting. Then other people say that gold just isn't performing like it should. Well, I'm here to tell you that there are a lot of misconceptions about gold. And gold and silver actually are two things that everyone should really consider getting in their portfolio. I'm going to explain why. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the channel, and please leave a comment to let me know what you think about this topic. Okay, guys, let's go. Okay, so it is Monday, October 3rd, 2022, and this is a recent price, today's price of gold and silver, and both are up pretty big today. Now, this is going to make a lot of people happy, but for me personally, it's not that big a deal. And this price increase that you see is in American dollars. That's very important. This is the American dollars price. Now, one reason I'm not exactly jumping for joy is because I don't necessarily look at gold and silver in terms of fiat value. That's the difference. Gold and silver are actual money. And I'll put it to you this way. When you look at the American dollar, you want it to maintain its value. And the reason you want it to maintain its value is so it can continue to buy the goods and services that you want, need, and use. As of late, the purchasing power of the dollar has decreased, as you can see with inflation. So price fluctuations is not a good thing in your store of value. So for me, this big jump in fiat currency price of gold means absolutely nothing. What I want to focus on is how many ounces of gold and silver do I have. So I'm going to show you why I don't really care about the fiat price, but it's also important to understand which fiat currency you're looking at when it comes to gold. So take a look at this. So you got to remember something. There's a whole world out there. And while most people look at gold and silver in terms of American dollars, let's look at it in some other countries' currencies also. See here, you have the Japanese yen and the Guyanese dollar. Look how much more, quote unquote, expensive gold is in their currency. So the key is to get as much gold and silver as you can while your currency still has the purchasing power to do it. Because you got to remember something. Gold and silver have been used as money for thousands of years. They were here before these fiat currencies were created. They will be here after they are long gone. So while your currency still has value, you want to buy hard assets. Fiat currency is just paper. It's paper they create literally out of thin air. But with that paper, you can buy real tangible things. So the key is to buy them while your dollar still has value. That includes things like gold, silver, real estate, any other tangible asset. This is going to be very key going forward. See, we always look at it in terms of American dollars, but we have to remember there are other countries out there that have their own currency. And as you can clearly see, gold and silver are a lot more expensive in those currencies. So what you want to do is you want to keep everything in perspective. And also, as I said previously, you want to become a little more investment savvy with your money. You want to start exchanging that fiat currency for real assets while you still have the opportunity to do so. Because if by chance the American dollar or the price of gold in American dollars reaches one of these, people will be angry that they quote unquote missed their opportunity to buy it when it was a lot cheaper. And again, remember, gold and silver have been used for thousands of years, and they have never gone to zero. But fiat currencies, every single one since the dawn of time, has eventually become worthless. Okay, guys, so here is some information that is not taught in school that everyone should be aware of. And the picture on the left shows a list of the world reserve currencies for the last three to 400 years. As you can clearly see, the dollar is just the most recent. See, the average person thinks the dollar is the end all be all, but what they don't realize is before the dollar was world reserve currency, there were several others. But here's the thing though, they eventually lose their world reserve currency status. And many believe the US dollar is nearing the end of its reign as the world reserve currency. And a lot of other people believe this is why we see that conflict going on overseas. The dollar is playing a really big role in that, but it's not really being discussed. But here's the problem. If the dollar loses world reserve currency status, we could expect to see the purchasing power of the dollar dramatically decrease. Now, let's go over to the chart on the right. We can clearly see the purchasing power of the dollar since 1913, and it is gradually decreased as well. And you can see this simply by looking at inflation. Things are going up, they're getting more expensive. You need more dollars to buy the same amount of goods. That shows you how the purchasing power is dwindling. Now, to get over this, many people are turning to gold and silver as a hedge against inflation because, again, gold and silver have never gone to zero. So many people are shifting their fiat currency into quote unquote real money, which is gold and silver. This is an investment strategy, and unfortunately, this type of conversation is rarely discussed and it is never taught in school. So I'm not the only person who's been noticing this. What you want to do is pay attention and look at what the big money is doing. And as you can clearly see, central banks are buying gold. They have been buying it by the ton for the last several years. It's just not really discussed. And why are they doing it? Because they know the dollar is losing its value. It is a fiat currency that is near the end of its reign as the world reserve currency. So what are they doing? They are turning to gold. They are quietly accumulating gold by the ton. And these are central banks around the world. And here is a funny picture here. It is a picture of China and the United States. China purchases U.S. treasuries. And when they receive the interest from those treasuries, they are buying gold. They buy gold, they buy real estate, they're buying all types of assets. But this just shows you what's going on behind the scenes that you need to be aware of too. Okay, so now a lot of people will turn around and say, well, it doesn't matter because gold is going to become illegal anyway, just like they did back in the day. I do not believe they will make it illegal. They may make it difficult to use, but I don't think they'll make it illegal. And the reason I say this is because back then, everyone had gold. Everyone owned gold back in the day. And so today, only about 12% of the US population owns gold. That's number one. Number two, when they quote unquote confiscated the gold, they paid people for their gold $20 an ounce. And then once they got the gold, they revalued it to $35 an ounce. Gold right now is right around $1,600 an ounce. Do you really think they're going to pay everyone $1,600 an ounce for their gold? Or if they announce they are making it illegal or going to confiscate, I believe the price of gold will go even higher. So they would have to pay even more for the gold. So let me ask you, do you really think the government is going to pay to take people's gold? I don't think they're going to do that. So how much would they have to pay? There are some people saying that if they really change the value of gold to its real price, it could be well over $5,000 an ounce. If they were to do that, how much money would they have to dish out? How much fiat currency? And the last point is how many people would actually turn in their gold? See, back in the day, people were a lot more trusting of the government in the country. How many people trust the government in the country today? How many people trust the government in the country to do the right thing for their citizens? See, things have changed a lot since then. And I believe that even if they tried to make it illegal, I don't think people would turn in their gold. Okay, guys, so I believe gold and silver are very important. And I hope you understand where I'm coming from and can see the point of what I'm trying to make. I mean, ask yourself this: if the dollar loses its purchasing power, what are you going to use or have as money? I'm not comfortable with that central bank digital currency. I think there's a lot going on with that. I've made several videos on that. So I think the key for all of us is to diversify and make sure we have options. And so one very good option is gold and silver. So what you want to do is not worry about the dollar price, but focus on accumulating ounces. And as you can see in other countries, the value of gold and silver fluctuates quite a bit. But the key is to accumulate as many ounces as you can. And one way to do that is by literally dollar cost averaging. You can buy silver ounces and fractional gold just like you would in your stock portfolio. You can literally just buy a little bit every single month. I mean, for example, if silver is $20 an ounce, why can't you buy just 1 ounce of silver every couple of weeks? A lot of people will say, well, silver isn't worth anything. It's not going to be worth anything when the SHTF situation happens. But I tell you what, that farmer will probably, most likely, definitely accept silver and gold for exchanging of crops and food. So think about that, okay? Next thing you want to make sure you do is look at the central banks. Watch what the central banks are doing. Even if you discount what I'm saying, simply ask yourself, why are central banks accumulating so much gold? Why are they buying gold? If it's an ancient relic and not worth anything and will be worthless or not worth anything during an SHTF situation, why do they have so many tons in their vaults? It's very important. And last but certainly not least, learn the history of money. Understand how money works. Understand how fiat currency works and how it eventually goes to zero. And when it goes to zero, you need to have something else in its place so you can reserve and preserve your wealth. And since the dawn of time, the wealth preservation has been gold and silver. Knowledge is power, people. Knowledge is power. It's critical we understand what's going on around us and prepare accordingly. So I want to thank you for checking out this video. And if you would like more strategies, check out two of my books I have showing here. The first one is Invest for Success, Millionaire Wealth Strategies Not Taught in School. There's a lot of information that we are just not taught, and we have to go out and find the information. And money and investing are two very important topics that we must understand and learn about today. The next book I have showing is The Three Pillars of Strength, Increasing Your Physical, Mental, and Spiritual Fitness. We are going through some very challenging, trying times right now, and we have to be the best we can be physically, mentally, spiritually, and financially. And so here are two books that I think can help us all tremendously as we go through this transition, as we get ready for this great reset or whatever's coming. So thanks for checking out the video. Check out my books on Amazon and leave me a comment. What do you think? What's your investment strategy? What do you think we should do? What do you think about gold and silver? Let's talk about it, people. All right, take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.